Just picked up another customer, Pamela,
Yes.
wearing a lovely dress. What's the dress called, Pam?
Well, it's the Forbes tartan I'm wearing because I've been to a memorial service for a wonderful man called Dr. Noel Chavasse. And Dr. Chavasse was a doctor with the Liverpool Scottish Regiment, of which my grandfather was one of the founder members of the Liverpool Scottish Regiment, and his son William was a stretcher bearer for Dr. Chavasse, and he was injured in 1916 and was sent home from the front from the Somme. I think later in that year he was sent back home, and then with a sense of service he rejoined a regiment. He rejoined the Seaforth Highlanders and went back to fight, and unfortunately was killed with an advance party of Seaforth Highlanders in Ramillies in France at age 24. My mother's favourite brother. Yes, very sad. But you hear of the soldiers buried in the corner of a foreign field, but when you go to France there are these vast cemeteries, and they are vast, and I thought, oh gosh, it will be quite impersonal, but when I got there, he's actually buried in a corner of a farmer's field, but it's all beautifully done by the Commonwealth War Graves Commission.
Okay.
It's beautifully laid out, yeah. So I came today to represent my grandfather and my uncle.
Wow.
And it was a most wonderful service at the cathedral. Wonderful.
I'm sure. Sorry, go on.
No. And then Noel Chavasse went to Liverpool College, and my first job was at the girls' Liverpool College, which was called Highton College.
Okay.
And it was quite amazing. So it was all memories for me, really. It was really quite an emotional weekend. Well, midweek, really, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah, Pam's had an amazing time, and this is a backstory to why we've got Chavasse Park and Liverpool ONE.
Yes.
That's where it comes from.
Exactly. And there's a statue to the stretcher bearers in Albemarle Square as well in Liverpool ONE.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's an MBE you've got?
I've got an MBE, but that's entirely unrelated. My MBE is for fundraising, really.
Okay,
yes.
Similar to what we mentioned before. And what does MBE mean again, just for people
Member of the British Empire.
Okay.
It's an award by the Queen.
Okay,
wow. Or the King, yeah.
And I was explaining to Pam, one of the reasons to do the taxi podcast is to find out what people's sparks are. I feel that some people feel they've got a calling, whether it's the Liverpool lecturer I picked up, whether it's a musician, whether it's a consultant. For Pam, your spark is fundraising. What type of fundraising and what got you into it?
I don't know. I've always, I think, been a fundraiser. I can remember as a young girl, I mean really young, selling poppies.
Okay.
So I think I sold poppies every year, forever. And and then I was a fundraiser. I was very interested in St John Ambulance in my young day. In fact, I represented the Northwest at Princess Margaret's wedding when I was a St John Ambulance cadet. And that was a remarkable occasion. So I've always been interested in St John Ambulance. And then latterly I live on the Isle of Man. I've been interested more in the internment camps.
What's that?
In World War I and II, anyone that didn't have an English passport, Germans, Italians, virtually, were all arrested. mean, quite unnecessarily most of the time. They were nurses in England, they were taxi drivers like you, Joe,
Okay.
but perhaps you didn't have an English passport,
Okay.
so you'd be interned.
Interned.
Interned, so
Okay.
intern means really just enclosing you to make sure you don't escape anywhere.
Okay.
And so the fear was that all these German professors and German doctors and German nurses were all spying for Hitler, when of course they weren't at all.
Okay.
Most of them had no interest in the politics of Germany. Some of them had never been to Germany, but their parents had German passports, so they got German passports.
Okay.
So
Very fascinating. and
it's fascinating.
Educational.
In the Isle of Man, in the First World War, we had one town virtually built for internees with 23,000 men.
Wow, that many.
Yeah, huge. And in the women's camp in Port Erin, we had 4,000 women. Now, the population of Port Erin at that time would only be about 800.
Okay.
So it was a fascinating time. So we wrote a book called Friend or Foe because
Did you write the book?
I helped.
You helped,
And many of the people in the village, of course, thought these people that were coming were all spies, and
Okay.
and they all spoke German. So the villagers, they were all the enemy.
Okay.
But they started out as the enemy, the foe, and then they became friends. And many friendships were made between the different people.
And this is all detailed in the book?
Yes, the book is called Friend or Foe.
Okay, and
Yeah.
the author is, just so I can find it, what I like to do, Pam,
Well,
is put a link in the
there's
video.
seven authors, but
Okay.
the book is available from Rushen Heritage Trust.
Okay.
Rushen is spelled Rushen.
Okay.
Now, Rushen is what we call an area of the Isle of Man, and each area, it's called a sheading, had enough men to be able to row a longboat. Because remember, the Isle of Man was a Viking island.
Okay.
We had Viking kings, and so each sheading only became a sheading when they had sufficient strong men to man the longboats.
Okay.
So I believe.
Very fascinating, very fascinating. But yeah, so what I'll do in the video, I'll put a link to the book.
Oh.
And as the channel grows, it's good to create awareness
Oh,
on
yes.
these different things. St. John's Ambulance is a charity you're very passionate about. I'll
Yeah.
put a link in the description to that. Was there any others where people can find
Well, I've
find out
mentioned Russian Heritage
about? The Russian
Trust.
Heritage Trust.
So
Okay.
if anyone's interested in the internment camps, or the people that were in the internment camps, and many of them were Jewish people fleeing Hitler, coming over on boats across the channel, very much like today.
Okay. Well,
And so, yeah.
no, very interesting.
And it's been very interesting talking to you, Joe.
You too.
You obviously
Pam.
have a man with the dedication. It's the best taxi ride I've had
Oh.
in years.
I told you we're on Uber, I was going to say, make sure you give us 5 stars, but we're on Delta.
Oh.
But no, Pamela, it's been a pleasure. Is there anything you want to say before I bring it to
No,
a close?
it's been excellent. Thank you, Joe. I
No.
never thought I'd be a taxi television star. So there you go.
You'll get me lots of views when I upload the video. Are you okay just here?
Yes, I'm fine, darling.
I'm gonna,
Thank you
I'm
very
gonna
much
just press
indeed.
stop. Thanks to Pam.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.